Hey everybody, this is the 2014 SFFRL, the Strat Fan Forum Replay League Super Bowl between the Baltimore Ravens and the Seattle Seahawks. This game was played earlier today. I was the coach of the Seahawks and Sean was the coach of the Ravens. I actually coached the Ravens to the Super Bowl, but obviously I couldn't coach both teams. That wouldn't be much fun. So I asked Sean, who lost in the AFC Championship game with his Houston Texans, to take on the helm of the Ravens while I coach my favorite team, the Seahawks. So Dan Morin jumps in the third quarter with the play-by-play. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to speed this up and do the play-by-play until we get to that point, and then I'll have it take over. So just to make things go quicker here, we're going to go at 1.5 times speed and capture this game as it goes. Now, I'm not sure as it plays when Dan's audio comes in if that will be captured on the rebroadcast, but I'm going to give it a shot. So here we go. The Ravens won the toss and elected to defer, so the Seahawks get the ball first at their 20. It's a 9-yard kick, 9-yard deep in the end zone. They decided not to take it out. Flat pass left to Marshawn Lynch against the run call. That goes for 12 yards. First and 10 Seahawks out to the 32. Both teams were 13-3 in the regular season. So they both come into this game 15-3. Flat pass left to Marshawn Lynch. Another run call. That goes for 16 yards. Offsides on the play was declined. There was a fumble on that play. Marshawn Lynch fumbled the ball and he recovered it. That could have been a momentum changer. In Strat, if you fumble the ball, you got a 50-50 chance of recovering it. A short pass to Doug Baldwin goes on the must run on Russell Wilson's card for a 1-yard gain. That'll be 2nd and 9. The Seahawks out to their 49. The Seahawks are in a blocking back halfback set, and the Ravens respond with their base 3-4. Off tackle left to Lynch. Guessed wrong. That picks up 5. So 3rd and 4 at the Baltimore 46. Seahawks now into Baltimore territory. Short pass to Cooper Helfett. It's a run call, receiver reading +12, first down, and a personal foul on top of that. That moves the ball up another 15 yards, and suddenly it's 1st and 10 Seahawks at the Ravens 19. Short pass to Doug Baldwin. Sean coming on heavy early with a bunch of run calls. It's a pass, and Baldwin's double teamed. There's a sack chance. It's no sack, and there's a dump off on the play. Russell Wilson scrambles and finds Cooper Helfett, picks him up for a 16-yard gain. Russell Wilson, hot so far, 4-4 for 56 yards, and it's 1st and goal on the 3. Seahawks go full house. Ravens respond 4-3 end run left to Lynch. It's a touchdown, Seahawks. The defense was keen, Robert Turbin, but the ball went to Lynch. There's a penalty on the play. Offsides on the Ravens, and the Seahawks will take it. This is something I like to do when I get it on the 1-yard line. I like to try to force the issue a little bit. The percentages are higher than you normally think. It was good, but there's another penalty on the play offsides. So it would have been 8-0. Instead, backs it up 5 yards, and they'll kick the extra point. Jacoby Jones returns the ball out to the 30. The Ravens will take over there. They're trailing 7-0, 11:27 to go in the first quarter. Justin Forsett had a huge year running the ball. Let's see if I have I can bring that up real quick when you have a chance. Flat pass right to Kyle Juszczyk. It's a pass call. Guessed right on Flacco's card was incomplete. Pause this for a second. The regular season, here we go. Justin Forsett had a big year. Flacco had a nice year, 26 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. But Justin Forsett ran for over 2,000 yards, 2,220 yards, including a 67-yard gain and 11 touchdowns. He's got really big numbers on the edges. So that's something that Seattle's going to want to watch out for, those big runs. You can't just call pass all day because he will hit those eventually. Off tackle left to Forsett. But look at that card in the middle. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 are all ugly rolls. It's just till you get to the edges, 2, 3, 4, and 11 and 12 that you get the big yardage gains. And it's like that in almost all his areas. So 3rd and 10, the Seahawks will double team 3 receivers. It's a short pass to Smith. He's double teamed. And Richard Sherman was there anyway. It would have been incomplete regardless, but they'll punt after gaining no yards. Brian Walters returns the ball 5 yards, and the Seahawks will take over on their own 19, leading 7-0. Blocking back, halfback set, Lynch in the backfield. It's a short pass to Doug Baldwin. Pass call, so it's guessed right. Another chance for a sack. The Ravens don't have very much pass rush unless you bring the linebackers. It's another dump off. Second one today, that's 10 yards for the Seahawks. First down and 10 to 29. Same formation. It's another short pass to Helfett. Wilson, 5 for 5 for 66 yards. It's a run call. And there's Wilson's first incompletion on the day. Even though it was guessed wrong, it hit a blank on the receiver reading. The Seahawks go halfback blocking back, but wind up with Wilson in the pistol. It's a long pass to Helfett. Guessed right, one man in zone, incomplete. If he had moved that free safety, that would have been a long game. So nice job by Sean keeping him home. 3rd and 10. 3-3-5 against 3 wide formations. A short pass to Curse. Suggs is coming this time, but it's a dump off again. No second high linebacker, and it's incomplete. 4th and 1. Seahawks had the ball at their own 38. And foolish me, I have a tendency to go for it a lot on 4th and 1s. There is an article that talks about why you should always go for it on 4th and 1, and I've kind of bought into that, but here I go. I know he's going to call run here, so I'm going for a flat pass, guess wrong, on Wilson's guard. It's a flat to Baldwin. I eventually get there, folks. And he calls run, one man in zone, but it hits on the linebacker in zone X or short gain. And for whatever reason, Sean accidentally clicked the button to accept the penalty, even though it would have been his ball there on the 35. Decent return. So, like I said, it only cost him 20 yards maybe, but big play there. You can imagine in the NFL like a miscommunication between coaches or something. Oh, no, you can't imagine. That would never happen. It's an end run left to 4 set, 0 men in zone, and Steve Smith being double teamed. It's a fumble. 2 through 5 is a fumble, and the Seahawks get the ball right back. So in the end, that botched penalty, like I said, only cost him 20 yards. He fumbled it on the next play. The Seahawks got a short field here. First down, they get a dump off for six yards on Wilson's guard. 2nd and 4 at the Baltimore 36. 6:45 to go in the first quarter. Everything going the Seahawks' way early. Flat pass left to Lynch. Baldwin being double teamed. It's incomplete on the D card. So 3rd and 4 at the 36 of Baltimore still. It's going to be a line buck to Lynch. It's a run call. It only picks up 2. That'll be 4th and 2. The Seahawks will definitely go for it here. It's no man's land. There's no reason to punt. Most you're going to pick up 14 yards because that punt's going into the end zone. It's another line buck. Ravens keyed Lynch, but they had the end run filled, not the line buck. But it would have been a first down anyway. Even with 2 men in zone, that's a offensive right guard reading, and he would have made the block. J.R. Sweezy's 4 against the white die 4. End run right, offensive tackle +8 or +2. That time the blocker does not make the play. Justin Britt's 4 does not match up with the white die 6. 2nd and 8. Short pass to Baldwin. It's another fumble. The Seahawks recover it. Baldwin was down near the 10, and he got stripped of the ball after the catch, but the Seahawks were able to get it back. Baldwin picked up his own fumble. 1st and 10 at Baltimore's 13. Pass call. Guess right, but there's a pass interference call. Penalties hurting the Ravens big time here. It'll be 1st and goal at the 1. Another run to Lynch, this time up the middle. It's a run call, and there's a penalty on the play. It'll back him up 5 yards. First and goal at the 6. And run left to Wilson. -3. Look at that. Baltimore, when you end run, when you have something in the zone, it's like it's not going anywhere. Short pass to Cooper Helfett, guessed right, but that's on the D card. +11, so that's a touchdown. Seahawks go up 14-0. So the turnovers went the Seahawks way early. Penalties are going the Seahawks way. The Ravens trail 14-0, but the good news is it's early in the game. Seahawks bringing all the linebackers up out of a 4-3. It's a linebacker to 4-set. Guess wrong, but it only goes for 2 yards. Again, you're not going to get very much yardage if you land in the middle of 4-set's card. 2nd and 8, Baltimore to the 22. Flat pass right to 4-set. Guessed right, incomplete on his card. 3rd and 8. Looking past the 4-set, +7, that'll be 4th and 1. Now, we saw the Seahawks go for it on 4th and 1. Will Baltimore go for it on 4th and 1? They do. They come out full house. The Seahawks are in their 4-3. They're going to call a run and bring the linebackers up. And the free safety. Flat pass right to Bernard Pierce. Guessed wrong, but it goes on the receiver reading. 7, guessed wrong, is incomplete. And that's like another turnover, folks. I understand why Sean did it. You're trailing by 14. You want to get something going. You only need 1 yard. But man, that's a tough break for the Ravens. Short pass to Helfett, guessed right, incomplete on the receiver reading. Like I said, I do that stuff all the time. The studies show that you should always go for it on 4th down. On 4th down with 1 yard to go. Off tackle left to Turbin, 1 man in zone, goes for 0 yards. 3rd and 10, Seahawks at the 29. It's a deep pass to Paul Richardson. Must run for 5 yards. That makes it 4th and 5. The Seahawks will bring on Stephen Hauschka for a quick field goal. Oh, Stephen Hauschka is only 2 through 8 from that range, and he rolls a 9. So despite going for it on 4th down, that did not cost Sean as he gets the ball back. And run right to 4-set. And fumble split again, but he missed it. So just no gain. 4-set having a rough start. 4 rounds for 2 yards. Pass call, 2nd and 10. Seahawks bring in the linebackers. Long pass to Smith. He's doubled. Incomplete on the receiver card. If it had not been doubled, that would have been +27. That could have shifted things around. Flacco starting off really slow, 1 for 6 for 7 yards. Short pass to Kamir Allen. Again, incomplete on the D card. So the Seahawks D's getting it done against the pass. The Ravens have yet to pick up a 1st down. 12:55 to go in the half. Seahawks will take over on their own 20. Blocking back halfback. It'll be an end run to Lynch. 0 man in zone, guessed wrong, +3. So we saw Sean going early with the run calls. Now he's going back to the pass calls a little bit. And run right to Lynch. Again, guessed wrong, picks up 5 yards, 3rd and 2. 11:57 to go in the half. Lynch linebuck. We got a key correctly. Again, it's just like the other role we saw. Offensive center +6 or +2. Max Unger's 5 reading. Doesn't make the play, but he, even failing it, he got enough for the 1st down. So 1st and 10 the Seahawks. 1st and 10 Seahawks at their own 30. End run left to Lynch. There's a man there. That's not going anywhere. Long pass to Helfett, covered by a 4 outside linebacker. Defensive back in zone plus defender X or +29 is incomplete, but there's a pass interference call on the play, and that moves the ball up 20 yards. So suddenly the Seahawks are at midfield. Flat pass left to Lynch. There's a 6 linebacker moved over there. Nice job by incomplete as Daryl Smith swats it away. 2nd and 10 at the 50. Linebacker to Lynch. It's a pass call that picks up 5 yards. 3rd and 5. The Seahawks go 3 wide. Maybe looking for a flat pass here. It's a look-in pass. No, it's a flat pass left to Curse. Guessed right. 1 man in zone. 7 on Wilson's card. That's a first down. 1st and 10. Seahawks up to the Ravens 38, already leading 14-0. A touchdown here puts them in command. Off tackle left to Lynch out of a 3 wide formation. No tackle 0 or +6, and big Brandon Williams makes the play. 2nd and 10. It's a short pass to Paul Richardson. He's being doubled. Nice double by Sean, but another penalty. That moves the ball up to the 24 of Baltimore. Short pass to Wilson. That's Luke Wilson. 1st and 10 at the Baltimore 24, 8:04 to go in the half. It's a run call. Guessed wrong. That's +12. Seahawks get another first down, and they're knocking on the door. Off tackle right to Robert Turbin. Guessed wrong. Offensive tackle +8 or +3, and it only picks up 3. So far there's been 3 fumbles in the day, all 3 of them covered by the Seahawks. They've recovered 2 of their own, and they've recovered 1 of the Ravens. Short pass from Wilson to Baldwin. That goes for 13 yards and a touchdown, and it's 21-0 Seahawks in the Super Bowl, the SFFRL 2014 Card Set Super Bowl. Long pass to Owen Daniels. Incomplete. Ravens looking to get that first down. They have yet to get a first down in the game. That's how well the Seahawks defense is playing. Offensive tackle left of Forsett. That brings up 3rd and 3. See, there it is. 0 first downs. 0 for 3 on 3rd downs. Sometimes you have games like that. You just can't do anything to move the chains. Flacco, 1 of 8 so far. Seahawks going to call pass. Double Steve Smith. Off tackle left to Forsett. It's -2. But wait, there's a penalty. Unnecessary roughness on the Seahawks. So penalties hurt them early now hurt the Ravens early. Now they're helping the Ravens. So they do get their first down, but it's by penalty. 2nd and 4. Looking past the Forsett. Guessed wrong. Picks up 8. Oh, offsetting penalties. Well, to do that again. Flat pass right to Owen Daniels. That picks up a yard. Flat pass right on 3rd and 3. Double team correctly. Flat pass from Flacco to Jusek, but he hits on Flacco's card. He threads the needle even though the extra coverage was there. Short pass to Torrey Smith. Incomplete. So the Ravens are moving the ball finally. 2nd and 10 at the Seahawks 39. Doubling Torrey Smith. Off tackle left to Forsett. Picks up 2. We have not seen Forsett hit any of his big numbers so far. 3rd and 8. Seahawks double teaming Kamir Aiken. It's a short pass to Smith. Hits a blank on Flacco's card. Flacco, 3 of 12 for 12 yards today. That is brutal. 4th and 8 at the Seahawks 37, and he's punting. Try to pin the Seahawks deep, use his timeouts, and get the ball back quickly. I would have gone for it there. Nothing to lose. You're going to lose 17 yards of field position because this punt's going to go in the end zone, folks. It's hard to get a punt pin someone deep when you're that close to their goal line. Coffin corner punt. 56 yards. Even when you're trying to coffin corner, it only takes off, 9 yards that time. So it still went into the end zone. So Seahawks take over, leading 21-0, 152 to go in the half. They go into their 2-minute offense. Off tackle, no, end run left to Lynch, picks up 7. There's an interception split that Seahawks avoided. Ravens were double teaming Baldwin. If that would have been a short pass to Baldwin, that would have been a pick. They would have been right back in this. Lynch, off tackle right, picks up 4, but there's a false start, and it'll back him up. So 2nd and 3 turns into 2nd and 7. Seahawks content to try to hit one of Lynch's big numbers on an off tackle. A little bit of delay. Oh, nice key. Sean brings everybody up. Keys Marshawn Lynch off tackle. Lucky for the Seahawks, it didn't hit that interception or the fumble split. So that'll be 3rd and 8. The Seahawks looking for a long pass to Helford, trying to hit a big play. It's going to be a sack chance, but of course, it's another dump off. 3rd one for the day for the Seahawks. That goes for 13 yards. So instead of having to punt, the Seahawks have a chance to continue to move the ball, try to get a field goal before the half. They call timeout, 1:07 left in the half. They still go blocking back halfback. They're still quite a ways away from field goal range. But Lynch hits one of his short gains. Now they're going for a flat pass right to Lynch. It's going to be guessed wrong on his card because the linebacker moved, and another fumble. But this time Russell Okung had been hustling up the field, falls on the ball, and the Seahawks avoid this. This is 3rd fumble in the first half that they fumbled, but got the ball back. 1st and 10 up to the Seahawks 45. Off tackle right to Lynch. That goes for 3. Fumble split, but the Seahawks avoid the fumble this time. 52 seconds left to go in the half. Short pass to Curse. No, long pass to Baldwin. Ravens call pass, so it's guessed right. Incomplete on the receiver reading. 3rd and 7. Russell Wilson runs it on an end run to the left. Design run, read option. It's guessed wrong. 52 yards. Oh, containment. If that had been a white die 3, that would have gone to the house. Instead, it sets up a 4th and 2. And with 37 seconds left, the Seahawks are going to go for it again. Even leading 21-0, they're pushing their luck here. It's Lynch keyed, plus 11, and a personal foul. Oh, my. The Seahawks are now up at the 21-yard line with 30 seconds left. So they converted the 4th and short, got a penalty, and now it's 2nd and 6 at the Ravens 22. Short pass to Helford. Incomplete on his card. 3rd and 6, 15 seconds left. If this doesn't pick up the 1st down, he won't be able to spike it. Or I won't be able to spike it. Still going for a short pass to Helford. Incomplete. And now here comes Stephen Hausch going to try the field goal. Ooh, it's blocked. The Ravens blocked the kick, and that's probably their first bit of good luck so far this game. They'll take over with a second left. Might try a Hail Mary, try to get... Flacco has a long gain of 9. Long pass to Smith. Incomplete. So we have a little bit of a technical connection issue here, I believe. We always get that halftime lockout. So I can fast forward that a little bit. And here we go. So the Seahawks kick off. The Ravens elected to get the ball, to defer, so they get the ball first. They take it out, even 8 yards deep. It was a fumble split, but if the white die is bigger than 4, then there is no fumble. So anyways, first and goal, first and 10, Ravens at their own 9. Long pass to Smith. He hits the 9 roll on Flacco's card. Connects for 69 yards, and that takes it down to the 22 of Seattle. He had taken that ball, taken a touchback on that kickoff, that would have been down to the 11-yard line. Flat pass right to Owen Daniels that sets up a 3rd and 3. Looking past to Kyle Juszczyk, picks up a yard. So 4th and 2. You might want to take the field goal here, but I think he's going to go for it. If I remember correctly, he does go for it. And I understand why. Again, he wants to cut that down to 2 scores. But Forset's card's so brutal. And they missed the 4th and 2 on an off tackle guessed wrong. The Seahawks take over at their own 14. So missed opportunity is probably the theme of this Super Bowl. Second and 10. On a flat pass right, or a short pass right, it was, I guess, incomplete. End run to Marshawn Lynch. There's an offsides on the play, so the Seahawks will take that, make it 2nd and 5. They go up the middle. Beast mode. That's a pass call, but it hits the dreaded 5, so no gain. 3rd and 5, Seahawks at their own 19. Flat pass right to Luke Wilson. It hits the receiver reading right for -1. Punt is blocked, but wait, there's a penalty, pre-snap penalty, so that does not count. And the Seahawks have a 4th and 6, and they'll punt again. Again, another potential momentum swinger that was avoided by the Seahawks. Ravens take over, 21-0. Flat pass left to Juszczyk. Incomplete, 2nd and 10. Ooh, there's a face mask. The Seahawks stopped it for a 3-yard gain at the face mask. Moves it up to the 40-yard line of the Seahawks. This is just about where Dan's going to jump on and take over for the play-by-play. There he is. Let me change this to 1 time so we can get his normal voice.
Both teams to the Super Bowl. It's a SFFRL Super Bowl. Baltimore with the ball, 3rd down and 8 at the Seattle 38-yard line, down 3 scores. Still plenty of time to come back. And a short pass, 5 yards, dump off. Brings a 4th and 3 from the Seattle 33-yard line. The high formation Forsett, Smith. Smith covered by a 4. That's the go-to. I'm sure Sean's trying to balance Forsett and Smith. He goes off tackle. Smith 2 yards. And it's a turnover on downs on 4th and 3. Big play right there. Baltimore driving, needing a score. Just about halfway through the 3rd quarter. Birth first. for the country. It's holding. Brings up first and 25.
And run here to Russell Wilson.
For Sean, even though he lost the ball on downs, he's got a good chance to get some field position if he can hold here. Oh my goodness!
How about that, Russell Wilson?
42. Russell Wilson rather, and run 42 yards. Pick up the first down on first and 25. This got to be a crushing play right there. Done. Russell Wilson short pass. Ball's incomplete. Brings up second down and 10. He's at the Baltimore 42-yard line after that long end run by Russell Wilson. Good call by Dennis on that, though. With a ton of short gains.
More like a great roll.
Next run. The 13 yard for Russell Wilson, all the way down to the Baltimore 29-yard line. With 6:23 left in the third. Game going at breakneck speed. Flat pass to Lynch. Flat call, just wrong. First down, down to 18. Dennis really likes it.
How,
To the right with that run game. Should have been unstoppable unless the defense can nail some right balls. End run. Picks up 4 yards. Russell Wilson again. Still hasn't reached the fatigue on the end runs. He must have saved him in the big second half. 21 nothing. Second down, 6 at the 14-yard line. North Baltimore. Dennis looking at a blocking back. 3-4 defense for the Ravens. Picks up a short patch of Jermaine Kearse. Double teaming Doug Baldwin. And both touchdown. On the receiver card, Jermaine Kearse. And it makes it 27 nothing. Now 28 with the extra point. That fourth down play was huge, along with the Russell Wilson end run. Kobe Jones takes the kickoff out from the end zone, up to the 15-yard line, had to try it with a touchdown roll on 2. And now he's facing a long field with 2 tight end offense, 4 set in the backfield. 4-3 defense, Dennis maneuvering off to the right side. Flat pass. No man in zone, 23 yards, big play. Called by Joe. It's 4 set for a big game. Flacco, 7-20. For 112 yards, of course, that picks up the second reception. So first down and 10 at the Baltimore 38-yard line. 4:14 left. Flat pass. Complete. Second down and 10. 2:57. Looking at an I formation again. Off tackle to 4 set. Gets pass. Gets wrong. The tackle call. Doing a 5 yard. Comes up 35. Got to score a touchdown. No doubt. They'll go 1 3, no run down, 1 2. And you know Sean's got to go for it on 4th down regardless. Even though there's full quarter left. 2 wide receiver. Nickel defense. Flat pass to Torrey Smith. Dennis gets his pass. Now zone. 1 man defensive card and complete. 4th down and 5. Another big 4th down play. 1 2 wide receiver again. Nickel call for Dennis. 4 3 left. Short pass to Premier Aiken. Dennis gets his pass. 4 man zone. Good call him on the Seattle card. Complete turnover on downs again. Steep uphill battle now for Sean with people to be left down 4 touchdowns. Off tackle Robert Turbin gets right. 0 yards. Second and 10. Dennis could put 1 man in the pocket there by picking even a field goal at this point with Seattle's defense. And that Joe Flacco card being substandard. Trust me, I know. Battle Royale. Walking back with Turbin in the backfield for Dennis. 3-4 defense, of course, Ravens. 2:05 left. Flat pass, Russell Wilson. Complete, 10 yards. For Turbin. And a first down at the Baltimore 33. First down and 10. Ravens 32-yard line. This is a tough task. Dennis did a great job getting the Ravens to the Super Bowl. Not one of the best defense teams. No doubt. Flat pass to Turbin again. Gets pass, put an open zone. Gets wrong. Receiver card. Even with a guess wrong, it falls incomplete. Good break. Sean right there. Needs a turnover right there, actually. That would help. Ouch gets pretty good down low. Dennis would have to gain a few more yards when they have a makeable field goal. 33. Serving in the backfield again. After one. Luke Wilson. Right in. Carson Baldwin, not the best receiver, but they make the flat pass. 3-yard gain on Baltimore sweep out on the end zone. Brings up 37. See what Sean comes up with on this ball. See what Dennis does. You can see Dennis doing a draw play or flat pass. That's a flat for Sean make blitz. It was a big play. Or Dennis goes deep. He goes for it. Yep, there he is. Deep. Reception. Dennis tries to go deep. Ravens need a big play. Dennis from the end zone. Picks up 22 yards down to the 22. 4 scores needed. Goes deep for the second down and 10. Richard Sherman with the play on Steve Smith, Senior rather. Second down and 10. Blocking back. 4-3 defense and run 4 set. Dennis gets his pass. 3-yard gain. Very chunky card. Holding call. Of course, that card is huge on a number of numbers, but guess Brownie gets him. And look at that. -4 on the 7 row. And run. Another penalty. It's a personal foul on Seattle. Gets the first down right back for the Ravens. Sean trying to come up with something big here in the fourth quarter, down 4 scores in the Super Bowl. That's SFFRL. Sean carried about 29 teams this season. But Houston, the AFC Championship, they lost to the Ravens. It's one of those guess wrong calls. It's a -3. Of course, that's hard. Second down and 13. Bad position right here. Off tackle, 4 set. Pass, and a 0 guess wrong. 2 carries, guess wrong columns. 3 yards, -3 yards. 4 sets only get 24 yards and 16 carries so far today. That won't do it. You need 4 sets with some big plays. Because Flacco's card isn't going to cut it for you. Short pass to Aiken. Nickel. Gets Aiken's card. Incomplete. 4th and 13. Bad news here. He's got to kick the ball to Dennis. He's going to kick it out of bounds. 52-yard kick. Picked up at the 24-yard line. Looks for the return. Fair catch. And Dennis takes over with the ability to shoot some time off the clock up 4 scores in the Super Bowl. High formation, 3-4-D. Baldwin and Kurtz as usual. Wilson and Nicholas. Helpful play. Let's play here. Dennis banging up the middle. Couple flats, mix it in, pick up some first downs, off tackle to Lynch. Good guess call by Sean, gets the fumble, roll, but doesn't get the fumble. So only 2. It's a -1, second down on the right. But the block fits. He's going to do the short pass to Luke Wilson. Short yards call, guess wrong. I think they must run, I believe, I guess right, but it's incomplete, guess wrong, and Wilson's card. 3rd down on the left. Redo here, Sean. Big play. Bring everybody. Take Dennis run. 3-5. Off tackle, draw the turban. Guess pass. 1-yard gain. 5 roll. Little 5 roll. Dennis kicks. Toby Jones. He's the return man. 10-yard gain. I think Sean got good field position, but needs something big and quick. But he still tried banging for one of those big 4-set gains. Dennis play conservative, off tackle the 4-set, 3 yards. Both rolls, and I would imagine, having joined late, that he's had a problem hitting those rolls for most of the game, although I bet Dennis mixed in quite a few run calls in the first. Maybe he did. Goes deep, defensive back in zone, and of course, you know who that is. Will Thomas, breaking up the play on the deep pass. Steve Smith Jr. incomplete, 3rd down and 7. Baltimore 4-6. Short pass to Smith, incomplete. Flacco's card. 4th down and 7, another 4th down. Shot here for Sean. He missed his last 2. 2 4th downs ago, barely missed it. It was 4th and 5 last week. But that 4th down play, he missed 2 possessions ago. He was huge. It was only a 3 down, scored a touchdown, ball 4 scores. 4th down and 7, 3 wide receiver shotgun, nickel for Dennis. Dennis looks like he's going to bring Lee House. I like it. Short pass to Torrey Smith. All the flats empty. Doesn't matter. He's going short. That's empty. Incomplete. Oh no. Got it. Dump off. 10-yard gain, 1st down. Finally, it goes to Sean. It'll be too little. Too late. 1st down at the Seattle 44. 9 minutes and 18 seconds left. Off tackle the 4 set. Pass again. There we go. Pass playing nickel. With a big lead. And you get one of those big gains. Flacco's on an 8 of 28. Shades of Battle Royale playoffs. It's even worse than that for me. Still under 2 yards of carry for 4 set. 15 carries, 33 yards. Pick up 6 there. 2nd down and 4. This is one of those big plays. It's going to see some serious clock, but Flacco, goodness, what are you going to do with those DBs? Looking long to Steve Smith right now. Incomplete. The 7 roll, 3rd down and 4. Let's see, they're hitting those DBs on Dennis's G cards. Or you got 6 chances to hit it this way on Flacco's card. 1 and 6 chances. 4 set and run. Another pass ball by Dennis. 7-yard gain. Picks up the guard block to the 6. 1st down and 10. Seattle 31. Don driving, looking to get on the scoreboard. And hope something miraculous happens after. Onside kick, turnover. Quick 3 and out. Whatever it might be. Still good time to get it within 2 scores and then hope for something good to come up. A 4 set card can really turn things around quickly, though. It's 2 of those really long games, you never know. 7:53 left. Receiver. Another 1st down to the 21. Flacco looks for Owen Daniels. The tight end. Look at the breakthrough from Chancellor. 1st and 10. 21-yard line. And run 4 set. Pass call. And again, a -1. Defensive end 5. Picks it up. Can't buy a big run with 4 set today. Just wrong after just wrong. Even on his own cards, he's taking losses. There you go again. 0. Just wrong and run. Just brutal. And nice to see the 1st down. But kid booty, white booty. Can't break away from Strat all the time. Go past Torrey Smith. Gets his pass. Hits it. Joe Flacco. 7 roll. Big play. 1st and goal at the 10-yard line. 5:53 left. Off tackle 4 set. Pass. They hit it. 50. It's the long game at the 10-yard line. Oh my goodness. That's just awful. Good for a touchdown, but goodness gracious, he wanted that about 8 plays ago. Onside 6. They get it. 5:15. Seattle recovers. It's going to try and take some time off the clock at 3 scores. I guess it's run. And it tries to go downfield, pick up the 1st down while he's sleeping on the run. Incomplete. Good chance on that 3-man column. Dennis just snuck it in there. 5. Blank roll. End run. Russell Wilson. Just pass. Defensive end swallows him up. 11. Russell Wilson's end runs, but they were used wisely earlier, especially on that huge 1st and 25 play. They took up 42 yards. They'll do it on the defensive play. Go past him. Help it. Gets his pass. 3rd and 11. Must run. Go down as a sack. Russell Wilson got back to the line. And the punt. 3:59 left. John's going to need a big return with the 2 roll. Dennis kicks it out of bounds to avoid it. Flat pass Flacco. Set picks up 7 yards, second and 3. A little bit over 3 minutes left in the SFFRL Super Bowl between the Baltimore Ravens, taken to the Super Bowl by Dennis Crowley, against the Seattle Seahawks, taken to the Super Bowl by Dennis Crowley. Sean Riley. Flacco looks for Steve Smith on a short pass. And hits the Seattle 4-man in zone defensive card with Dennis playing nickel for most of the fourth quarter up by multiple scores. And there it is again. Guess wrong, off tackle on Justin Forsett. Of course, it's a Reddit 5 roll, but it's -3. 23 carries, 46 yards, a 2-yard average. He did hit a long game, but it was on the 10-yard line. And then Sean gets the 37-yard punt. And just chooses to take it instead of let it roll. It's twice he does that, which is confusing to me because I risked the fumble. 2 minutes left in the game. Dennis has got the ball. Tavares Jackson takes a leap. Dennis is just going to run it out. Another knee. This time a penalty. Improved rolling infraction on the Ravens. 5 yards. Second down and 6. Another knee by Jackson. Gets passed by Sean. Third down and 7. No timeouts being called by Sean. So blinded down. Number 4th. Dennis a punt. Like it out of bounds. Another flag on the play. Holding call. Seattle called for a holding. Baltimore declines. 4th down. Punt down to the 1-yard line. And the punt return for 0 yards. 15 seconds left. It's all but through it. For the SFFRL Super Bowl, Dennis Crowley picks up the victory, taking 2 teams to the Super Bowl. His beloved Seattle Seahawks to win the championship. Had another chance at a Stock League championship in the next week or 2 with the SFFL. +2 gain by Justin Forsett. Again, gets wrong off tackle. On the 7 roll. Finding fatigue. 24 carries, 48 yards for the game. And the last time I checked, Flacco was 8 for 28. You can see what the total was after those last few passes. Game over. Congratulations, Dennis Crowley. Excellent job. 28-7 win over the Baltimore Ravens and Sean Riley. Sean, loved playing you this year in this league. Good job with multiple teams. Excellent job in the playoffs, knocking off my Indianapolis Colts in the divisional round. After the Colts swept the Seahawks to the AFC South Division, Sean pulled up for the 2-1 counted. See Sean down the road and wants the lead. Dennis, again, congratulations. You got it, buddy. Another title. Hopefully, the Denver Broncos will match up with you in the USFL Super Bowl. My Denver Broncos against Scott Mueller with the Pittsburgh Steelers tomorrow night, and then you've got the Green Bay Packers the following night with the beloved Seahawks. Excellent job. I'm going to sign off, Dennis. Okay, I'm going to hold on, see if you're there. I don't even know if we're recorded. But then again, you won't hear me now if it's recorded, so why am I saying that? So they did.
Hey, it's another Strap Band Forum football show. This is a post-game Super Bowl interview between myself, the winning coach, interviewer Dan Morin, who was able to call the game from the third quarter on, I believe, right, Dan?
Yeah, about 9:26 left, and when I jumped on, it was 21-0. You were in the lead, but Sean was driving. He was in your end. Picked up it got to a 4th and 3, and tried to run, pick up the first down, missed it by a yard. And then I thought that was a critical point in the game. But then he picked up 2 penalties So when you listen to the broadcast, you'll hear me say, well, you know, that fourth down was huge, but there's enough time left that if he stops him here quickly on a 3-and-out, which he may be able to do because he's got a 1st and 25, and then all of a sudden, an end run by Russell Wilson, 42 yards with a 2-roll comes up, and I just said, oh, God, that's going to be just back-breaking for Sean. I can imagine what he was saying at his house.
Guess who's on the call right now? It's Sean. Sean.
Oh. Hey, Sean.
Sean, can you hear us? I see him.
Yeah, I see him too.
The volume up. You tell him text me. Well, he can't hear.
Oh, so he's...
Oh, so yeah, so maybe he can only see, but he can't talk. But we were just talking about the yeah. So I'm sure that he was like, yeah, what a crazy roll, especially after the first half. What I had a lot of dump offs.
Yeah.
So he says the volume's all the way up. So how about headphones?
So can he hear us?
Yeah, so
I remember a while back, a couple leagues ago, I used to listen and just watch you guys, but I didn't have a mic or a camera, so I just kind of used to watch.
I had a ton of dump offs in the first half. That's kind of the way I was planning on attacking Baltimore. I mean, I've coached them, so I know what their weaknesses are. And their pass rushers on the defensive line are non-existent. So if you can get some short passes or long passes against them, and they don't get a pass rush, or they don't get a blitz, they're going to turn into dump offs a lot of the time. So I got a lot of those. I think Wilson was like 6-6 or 7-7 to start the game. So that's how I got the lead. And then every time it was like time for Sean to get the ball, in the first half he would, get first down, second down, and be like in 3rd and 7 or 3rd and 5, and he wouldn't be able to convert. Forsett was terrible. He'd be like 2nd and 4, and he'd run Forsett and he'd lose 2 yards with 10 yards back in the track. And that can happen. I mean, he had a couple of 4th downs in the first half, besides the ones you saw, where he went to Forsett, and he hit those middle numbers off tackle. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 are all minus yards or no gain. So
that happened. So that happened in the first half too, because when I jumped on, every time he had the ball, you were obviously up 4 scores after that. He didn't convert that 4th down, and every time he was running, you were guessing pass, and he was just nailing those -3s and the zeros. And he couldn't hit the long gains, and then you'll hear me on the broadcast. He hit the long gain at the 10-yard line for a touchdown, which was great for the touchdown, but goodness gracious, where was the long gain earlier than that?
Yeah, and Sean says he can hear us now. Sean, do you have a microphone there?
Yeah, I should. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you got it.
Perfect, great. So Dan was asking earlier, after, because he jumped in, it was 21-0 in the 3rd quarter, and you pretty much had me pinned like 3rd and long or 2nd and long, and I hit that 42-yard end run on the Baltimore card.
Yeah.
He was asking how you felt after that.
It was a little rough. I'm not gonna lie.
Is that when you started drinking, like I see you doing now?
Yeah.
But yeah, the Ravens running back, they're kind of like, that's one of the few times that I really like to let the PM make the substitutions. You know how you say, like, do not sub for human players? With Baltimore, I let the computer manager do that because Raven Maniac, the guy who makes the computer manager, Raven fan. And for that team, you can't really use Forsett on short yardage situations. You need to bring in Bernard Pierce or Lorenzo Talafero.
Yeah, I noticed that he doesn't. It's all or nothing with Forsett.
Yeah, you can get huge gains on the edge, and I think you only hit one of those today when it was like 1st and goal at the 10 or something like that.
Yeah.
He got like 12 yards out of a long game. But if you don't hit those, he can be just so frustrating to coach.
Yeah, and Flacco didn't have a very good game either.
Yeah, I was a little nervous. It was 21-0. You missed this game, but Baltimore got the ball first in the 3rd quarter, and they threw a bomb right off the bat. Steve Smith went for like 60 yards.
Yeah,
yeah, they had it first down inside the red zone. But again, he got Sean got down to like 34 or 33, and Forsett runs for 0 yards or -2. And then he went for it on fourth. It was like 4th and 2. And he could have gone for a field goal, which would have, cut it a little bit. But he went for it, which I would have done too. But McKinnon was Forsett. Damn, guess wrong, 0 yards. And he didn't convert. And that was like 2 or 3 times that game that happened.
Yeah, I had a rough time on 4th down. I don't think I got any of them, and I went for it 4 or 5 times.
And there was, in the first half, there was a block. No, I went for it on 4th and 1. And it was an incomplete flat pass. Guess wrong. And there was a holding penalty on it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what happened. Sean accepted the penalty. I was like, yes, I can punt. But it was turned into first down for the Ravens. It was a short punt anyway, so maybe you lost 30 yards. But that was a good play, too. Kind of let me off the hook there.
Yeah, I thought about that afterwards. Maybe that wasn't such a good idea.
I thought maybe it was a click or something, but that was a big play. And then I had like 3 fumbles. Lynch fumbled once or twice. I caught a receiver fumble, and every time I got the ball back. Did you notice that?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I didn't get any turnovers. I didn't get anything on 4th down. I didn't get any of Forsett's numbers. It was a little brutal.
Yeah, when you're playing with a team that's not as good, like they went to the Super Bowl in 2014. They were one of the elite teams, and the Ravens were kind of, did they miss the playoffs or they barely made it and they got knocked out? This is 2 years ago, so I can't quite remember.
Yeah, I don't remember either.
But they don't have like, a stud running back. They have the hit and miss Forsett, and then they have Flacco, who is also kind of hit and miss. And their defense, if you don't have men in zone, they give up yards. They give up a lot of yards through the air, and that's how they want to attack them. But if they need to have guys in zone on the run. Let me share the box score because I think you did shut down Lynch pretty much. But here's the box. Lynch only ran for 42 yards, so you did shut them down on the running game. But Wilson had the big 42-yard run, and then he was red hot aside from that pick. 20-34 for 200 yards and 3 touchdowns. So he had a pretty good game, and the Ravens just cutting off with him.
Yeah. Well, and I kind of went into it knowing I was going to have to try everything I possibly could to win that game. I knew there was going to be your basic type game. It wasn't going to be a grinded out football game. It was going to have to be big plays no matter what I did.
Yeah, it wasn't a 50-50 game. It was more like a 75-25 where you needed, a few turnovers, and for me to have the kind of day that you had where you couldn't convert 3rd down until the second half.
Yeah. Yeah, still rough.
Yeah.
That Flacco card is brutal. I mean, I had some good luck with him in Battle Royale, but then, I knew when it came down to having to count on Flacco that it wasn't going to work out. So with Sean sitting there with Forsett not hitting those big gains and that chunky card with the zeros and the -3s, the time that I watched, and it sounds like it happened in the first half too. You get some pass, you're not really going to move the ball consistently with Flacco, especially with that Seattle pass defense.
So here was the first half possession before you joined for the Ravens. 3-and-out punt, no yards gained. The second one was, that was after I don't know what this was, one play, and you fumbled it. I recovered a fumble after one play. Oh yeah, that was the Forsett end run where it was a 2-through-5 or 2-through-6 fumble.
Mm-hmm.
The third
and you turned that into a touchdown too, which must have been huge.
Yeah, that got me out to a 14-0 lead. And then four plays, 9 yards, you turned it over on down, so we couldn't convert that 4th and 1. That gave me like a short field. Then 3-and-out. Then you had 10 play, 18 yards gained, 15 yards of penalties, but you still, stalled at my 37 and wound up punting.
Mm-hmm.
And then another one play, that was the end of the half. Then the second half, you started to move the ball. 5 plays, 77, 6 for 12, 5 for 28, 12 for 57, but by then it was pretty much over.
Yeah, at that point it was.
So I really appreciate you filling in. I know that you were disappointed This game was the exact opposite of the AFC Championship game when Baltimore got every single break. It seemed like whatever team I was coaching this year just had a ton of good luck when it came down to the playoff game.
Houston was a fun team to play with. I'm not going to lie. That was a lot of fun. And I did a lot better with them than I thought I was going to. But I think J.J. Watt ended up with like 21 sacks in the regular season. So it was a huge score.
Yeah, I think if you would have Houston in the Super Bowl instead of Baltimore, you would have had a better chance just because you knew that team. You had coached them all year. You had success with them.
Yeah, coming in and trying to play against a team I've never played with before, it gave me another disadvantage on top of the ones that team already had.
Yeah. Well, I have to say, I really appreciate you stepping in. I of course enjoyed it. One of those great seasons for me. So.
Oh, I loved it. It was a lot of fun.
I know we didn't have a full slate of coaches. We only had like 23 or 22 coaches. But and you wound up coaching 3 of the teams, which was. But I really enjoyed that. It was a good card set. It's not like too overpowering where it's set in stone that one team's going to win the league. Who won in Snarl, Dan?
Snarl. Jesus, I think wasn't it Green Bay? No, yeah, Green Bay beat Buffalo.
Yeah. So you have a team like Buffalo, which Junior went undefeated with Buffalo up until the Super Bowl, and he had a chance to win that Super Bowl too. In USFFL, the final 4 teams are Seattle, Green Bay,
Denver.
Pittsburgh, and Denver. Dan's coaching Denver against Pittsburgh on Monday, and I'm coaching Seattle against Green Bay on Tuesday. So, I think any number of like maybe 8 or 10 teams could possibly win the Super Bowl if the breaks go their way.
Yeah, I can't believe Green Bay in all 3 leagues. Green Bay did so well. Aaron Rodgers, of course, is outstanding. That defense, man, I can't believe that 3 different coaches took that defense to Super Bowls. That defense has its challenges. I'd sure rather play that defense than Seattle's if I was fortunate enough to make the Super Bowl in the USFFL.
Yeah, if you don't have a good defense, as long as you don't get too, wild with Earl Thomas. If you leave that long pass going open, you can get burnt. But aside from that, you have good ratings, decent pass rush if the matchups are right, and not a lot of yards on the card for running, which is great.
Yeah, that Houston job that Sean did, I agree. That was amazing. I scored. The thing that baffled me and made me amazed about what Sean did with that Houston team is I scored a ridiculous amount of points with the Colts. I mean, I scored a ton of points, and I think Sean still beat me by like 40 points over the year with that Texans team. So I can only imagine the touchdowns he put up against everybody else because I was fortunate enough to get him twice during the season to win the division, and I knew I was in trouble when I had to play him again. And I ended up losing that.
Well, you beat me both games in the regular season, so I was going into it going, this is going to be a long game.
Yeah, and then he suckered me in. It was a play, Dennis. I don't know if you were watching it, but I think it was close to the end of the first half. I hit a 47-yard touchdown to go up. Was feeling good about myself, and then I got snookered into worrying about Arian Foster hitting a long run at the end of the first half, and I guess run, and he went deep and hit it, and ended up scoring a touchdown right before halftime. It just sucked the wind right out of my gut. And then in the second half, it ended up killing me in the second half.
Yeah. Well, he won 34-28, right?
Yeah, I ended up scoring a touchdown late, but that set the tone right there. I was really feeling good about myself and let my head spin around early in the third half, trying to do something too quick, and he outcoached me for the rest of the way out.
Yeah, that was a good game. I think there was a lot of playoff games. Besides the ones that I was involved with, that turned into blowouts, there was a lot of good, exciting playoff games too. This one, even though you did score that touchdown late, I think you got the ball back, didn't you, with a chance to win it?
Yeah, that was one of those things where I think Sean might remember this, but I scored that touchdown and I had 3 timeouts left. And in hindsight, when something doesn't go your way, you always think you should have gone the other way. But I had that decision with a minute 40 left whether to do an onside kick or try and play defense, and I kicked it and thought I could pull something out on defense, and ended up picking up a first down and just letting it walk out. So I just couldn't make a decision, and I went with playing defense because I'd rather, if I stopped him and 3 and out and he punted, I'd have good field position and a better chance to try and score, I thought. But I couldn't pull it off.
Well, it was a fun postseason, guys. Congratulations to all you guys. All 3 of us here made the postseason. Sean made it with multiple teams, with coaching the Falcons as a villain for that, and winning the Super Bowl. Well, see you coaching every round. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was a little weird to see a 7-9 team make it to the playoffs and then end up winning the wild card game.
Yeah, that was great. Another feather in your cap there.
I think I made a comment during the broadcast that Sean coached 29 teams and Dennis and I coached the other two.
It seemed like that sometimes.
So, hey, change the S to Sean next year, Dennis. SFFRL.
Oh, okay.
The Sean Football League.
Yeah, exactly.
So, hey, just let you guys know, I got an email this weekend. I'm in Autumn Winds. So,
Nice.
yeah, they decided not to extend an invitation to just one owner, so I don't know who that is. So I'm trying to guess what team.
I can tell you who it is.
Yes. So who is it?
I can tell you. I don't know if let me stop the broadcast and I'll tell you.
Oh wait, you might get kicked out if you do that.
I don't want to do it with my mom. No, we'll do it off the air. So,
yeah.
Thanks everybody for watching, and we'll talk to you later. I'm just going to push stop broadcast. Hold on.